How's it going, everyone? It's Caleb here, and today we're going to be talking about Exosuit, a boomer shooter for the PC. This is a game that actually just came out in 2024, so it's pretty darn new. And it's not a bad boomer shooter either. It's one of the most unique looking ones I've ever seen because of the way that they designed the graphics. And it's really hard to say what the graphics look like. The only thing I can really compare it to, and this isn't a 100% comparison obviously, but the only thing that it really reminds me of is something that would be on the Vectrex, which was a system way back in the day where it used vector graphics to basically make the image. And that's kind of what this game looks like if the Vectrex was somehow a modern system that was able to make a first-person shooter. And that's basically what this game looks like. And it looks really good, and it actually plays pretty well. Also, one of the things I like about this game is that this game takes pride in the fact that it doesn't really have a story. And I personally like that because it shows how important the gameplay is when it comes to video games. Obviously, you're playing a video game for the gameplay. You know, I don't play video games usually for the story. I think gameplay should come first always. And this video game kind of proves that, you know, gameplay is the most important thing, because this game is a lot of fun, and it shows, hey, you can have a lot of fun, you can be interested in a game and in a world without a major storyline. And this game actually, even though it doesn't give you any story, it just drops you in the middle of this kind of like city with a bunch of robots chasing you and everything like that. Even though it just drops you in this random setting, you are kind of interested in the setting itself, you know? Because you see all this stuff, you see this kind of like futuristic looking world, you see these robots coming after you, you're running around just trying to find the rooms to escape the different sections of the city, and it does kind of make you wonder, like, what's going on in this game, why are you running away from it? But I kind of like that it doesn't answer those questions, you know? It leaves it up to interpretations. You know, are you a good guy running away? Are you a bad guy that's maybe done something and now you're on the run or something? Like, it leaves it up to your interpretation, which is kind of cool. I like that. This game is really cool for doing that. I think that's a good thing that they tried something like that, and I think it worked pretty well, honestly. Now, this is a boomer shooter, so a lot of stuff that you would expect to see in other boomer shooters are in this, in terms of the way it plays, the way it feels, and everything. However, one thing I wish that was in this, and there just wasn't really a lot in there, was more secrets. I didn't find any like secret rooms or anything like that, like you see in like Doom, or you see in, you know, other first-person shooters that I've played, other boomer shooters that I've played, like Chasm also had some hidden areas and stuff like that. So I wish there were some more hidden areas that were a little bit harder to find, because like there were some that were kind of secret areas, but you know, in a lot of the other games I've played, it pops up whenever you go into one of these areas. It's just like, hey, hidden area, you found it, congratulations, you know. Games like even Hedon Bloodright, they have hidden areas like that, and it'll pop up on the screen, hey, secret area found. Even, you know, another game that's like that I actually just played for the channel not that long ago, Dysbossus, was like that as well. It also would be like, hey, you found a secret room, here you go, and it would have secret items in it. And I wish that this game had more stuff like that, just because that stuff adds to replayability, and this game, because it doesn't really have anything like that, the only real replayability is the gameplay itself. And while the gameplay, it's pretty fun, is it worth going through and playing again? I'm not sure. We'll see if I ever get that feeling that I want to go play it again, because right now, I can't really see myself playing it again anytime soon, so that's a little bit of a bummer. If it had some secret areas and some stuff to find, I think I'd be a little bit more interested in playing it again sooner than later. But right as it stands right now, I just have no interest in playing it anytime soon again, you know? I enjoyed what I played of it, but for me, it seems like this may be a one-time playthrough. Now, that's not really that bad considering the price of this game. This game is not an expensive video game whatsoever. The soundtrack for this game is awesome, too. I love the soundtrack for this game. You get some awesome, like, metal music in the background, and it just really gets you pumped while you're playing this game, so that's something I really had to throw in here as well. The soundtrack, it's really good. I really liked just running around as fast as I could, blasting these robots, and just hearing this metal music in the background. It's pretty sweet. This video game is $3.99 on Steam, so, you know, even if I do only play it through the one time, I really can't complain too much. The campaign's not very long. It's like an hour and a half, and that was with me having a few deaths involved because this game can be challenging. It definitely is fair. It's very well balanced, so it's not like overly difficult. I feel like it's honestly just right. It's like the right amount of fair. But my entire gameplay and my entire time of this game was about an hour and a half, which isn't too bad, I think, for a $4 video game. I'd say that's pretty good, honestly. I enjoyed it. It's not long, it's short but sweet. It doesn't overstay its welcome. And I would play more games like this in the future if they wanted to make another one with more levels, or if they wanted to add DLC to this game and add more levels that way. I would play more of it. I do think it's fun, and I would like to see more games like this, just with more secrets. That's my biggest complaint about this game. The weapons are really cool in this. You have quite an array of weapons. You actually start off with a blade, which can be pretty useful, actually, if you run out of ammo. It's actually not too bad. But you also get all your other stuff that you see in other, boomer shooters. You get your pistol, your rocket launchers, and stuff like that. You get some shotguns. You get this weird, laser type of shotgun later on, too, which is pretty cool. You also get this LMG. So you have your normal, assault rifle, but then you can also find an LMG, which is pretty cool. And that thing is super powerful and really good for taking down the turrets. And one thing I also really liked about this game is the boss fights. There's quite a few boss fights in this game, and they're really good. You get drops in kind of like this arena area with turrets firing at you 24/7, and you have to avoid the turrets because I don't think you can destroy the turrets. I hit them over and over and over again, and I could not destroy the turrets on the boss levels. Turrets in regular levels you can destroy, but these turrets are a different color than the regular ones. The regular turrets are green, and these ones are red, and I could not destroy them whatsoever. So I don't think you can destroy the turrets on the boss level. But you have to dodge the turrets and try to take on the boss at the same time and make sure that you take down the boss so you can exit the boss level. And I think that's a pretty cool idea. And I like that there's nothing super crazy when it comes to taking down the boss. It's just you blasting at it with all the weapons you get and picking up ammo while you're doing it to keep refilling. And on the final boss, I actually ran out of ammo, so I had to hope that I could take them out with the knife, and I actually did. It did work. but the boss fights are pretty tense. I like them. I think they're pretty darn good. And overall, the level design and everything like that, it's also really darn good. So I like it. I think that this is a really fun game, especially for $4. I think that you should try it out if you like boomer shooters. I definitely think that if you like boomer shooters, you're probably going to like this one, especially with the way it looks, just because it is so different. There was one other thing I wanted to bring up, just that I found kind of odd, and I don't really know if, I don't really know why this was the case and why this happened. But I use a controller whenever I play most of these boomer shooters. I prefer playing with a controller over a mouse and keyboard. I just have always preferred that. And for some reason, I've never had this issue with any other boomer shooter. And I even played more boomer shooters after I played this game to kind of check on my controller. But for some reason, the triggers were not the fire button on this. And I couldn't find a way to map them in-game. Maybe there's a way and I just couldn't find it. But I could not find a way to map the buttons. So my bumpers were actually what was my... that was actually the button I had to use to fire my gun. So that was kind of weird. So I didn't get to use my triggers, I had to use my bumpers instead. Just kind of an odd thing that you may keep in mind if you're a controller user. It wasn't a huge deal, but it took a little bit of getting used to, just because I've never had that happen before. So that was kind of odd. Again, I've played other boomer shooters, and even after this I played more, and I still didn't have that problem. This is the first game I've ever seen that with. So just keep that in mind if you're a controller user. That's kind of an odd thing, and it may get on your nerves a little bit, so you may prefer mouse and keyboard. For me personally, I got over it pretty quick. I mean, I grew up with the PS2 days, and even some games on the PS3, they all use the bumpers instead of the actual triggers too, so I guess it's not a huge deal, but it's just something I kind of wanted to throw out there just because I thought it was kind of odd. I'd never had that happen. But overall, I still think that this game is worth checking out for $4. I don't think you can go wrong with this, and I think you're really going to enjoy the way it looks for sure. I think you're going to enjoy the way it plays. It is a fun game. It may not have much replayability, but for $4, it's at least worth one playthrough. So thank you guys for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button and subscribe button down below, and I will see you in the next one. You have a great day. Bye-bye.